Hey guys, what's going on here? It's Justin with Summit Racing coming from the 2022 Detroit AutoRama. And we're just taking a few minutes interviewing some people, talking about some of their slick rides. And I'm here with Jesse from Level 7 Performance to talk a little bit about his 64 Chevrolet. So if you just want to take a few minutes and tell us about your build, this thing is absolutely beautiful. I'm a sucker for Chevy trucks, and this is everything I imagine when I want to build something.
Yeah, so we finished this truck for a customer probably 2.5 years ago. One of the best original patina trucks that we've ever seen. Hardly anything had to be done to the exterior of this, so it got put on a No Limit Engineering chassis. It's got a GM Performance LS3 crate motor with a cam and headwork. It's got a 6-speed manual transmission from Tremec. It's got a full float 9-inch. Also has like Apple CarPlay, cruise control, all those like good creature comforts. But it's able to go and do autocross and road race like Level 7 is known to do.
Yeah, this thing is absolutely spectacular. Thanks for talking to us. We really appreciate it. Like I said, we see some more cool stuff you put out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. You can check us out on our social media. It's Level 7 Motorsports. Or on YouTube. There's lots of videos of some of the other performance trucks that we built.
Hey guys, and we're just walking around the show checking out some cars, and we couldn't walk by this sweet 68 Charger. Now this thing is not all it appears, and it has a sweet swap. And we're here with its owner, Mark Stewart. Mark, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. This is 68 Charger that is a 2-year build for us. It was built by the Hot Rod Barn in Joliet, Illinois. We started out with a base Charger, a simple 318, swapped the Elephant motor for it, put an Art Motors chassis underneath it, made it into a Tremec 6-speed, and here we are.
Now, there's some really cool features about this car, and one of my personal favorite is the chrome. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So this is a black chrome from Ogden out in Utah. This is the newer generation of chrome. It gives it a subtle look to the car itself, tying the wheels, the bumper, and all the bright work together.
We came across this sweet ride, and you know, you can't really tell what it is, but it is a 61 Corvair, and it belongs to this gentleman here, Everett Reynolds. You just want to tell us a little bit about your car?
Well, this is a tribute car. It was actually, the original was built in 1961 and debuted by Darryl Starbird. It was on the cover of CarCraft magazine. That car only remained in that condition for about 2 years, and they re-customized it. And so it looks totally different now. That car still exists, but I like the original version. So I recreated the original version. It's in honor of Darryl Starbird.
That is super awesome. Now, where did you find this Corvair? Did you start with a kind of like a rougher car? And there's obviously a lot of customization that goes on here.
Well, it was in a barn. It had been in the barn since like 1974. It was full of rat's nest. Anyway, it did start and run, and so then we customized the body on it to make it look like this.
That is super awesome. And yeah, as you can guys just see, this thing looks like it's straight out of the Jetsons. It's got the bubble, it's got the nice interior. This thing is just absolutely fantastic. We could not walk by this sweet 79 Bronco, and it's built by Rick from Cleveland Power and Performance. Rick, can you tell us a little bit about your build?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a 1979 Bronco that is basically on a 2014 F-150 chassis. It has a Coyote motor with a Roush supercharger. It's an independent front suspension, so we eliminated all the leaf springs, did a coilover setup. So basically the truck looks, acts, and thinks like a 2014 F-150. But it looks like a 79 Bronco. And on top of it, we did a ton of metal mods, functional cold air. It's got door handles from a new F-150, door mirrors from a Silverado, Hellcat brakes on it, a Hellcat back upper seat. So,
well, thanks again, Rick. Thanks for talking to us about this thing. Like I said, we're excited to see what you guys put out in the future, because this is a hard bar to top.
Yeah, very, very excited. We got a bunch of cool builds coming up and a talented crew, so we'll definitely be back with some cool stuff.
The cool thing about the AutoRama here in Detroit is you never know what you're gonna find. There's cars, trucks, there's even some boats around here. But the cool thing here is all the different power plants. And we're here with Mike Copeland to talk about his really cool power plant and fueling setup in his truck here. Kind of give us a rundown of what you got going on here, Mike. You know, this isn't your traditional fueling system.
Now, this is a 1948 Chevy truck. It's powered by a supercharged 6.2 liter LS. Has a Magnuson 2650 on it, and it runs on hydrogen.
So tell us a little bit more about the hydrogen power. Like, is it comparable to gasoline? Does it make more power? Like, what inspired you to do this build and kind of go with this fuel setup?
When you burn hydrogen, and you can burn it in an internal combustion engine, obviously we proved that, there's zero emissions. There's no carbon monoxide, no carbon dioxide, no hydrocarbons. You can literally breathe. You could put a hose on the tailpipe and put it to a mask and stand and talk and breathe. The only thing comes out of it's a little bit of water.
Now, what kind of engine modifications did you had to go through to run hydrogen?
Well, this is our development truck, so we over-engineered it. We'd use special pistons, special rings, connecting rods, made it really heavy duty. We have a special camshaft profile that we ground for this. We did some work to the cylinder heads, but the reality is we've learned as we continue our development that we'll be able to run this on any stock production engine. We don't need anything to do that. Yeah, our goal is to offer retrofit kits, and you'll be able to buy the kit. It'll include the injectors, the regulator, fuel lines, the computer, wiring harness, all of that stuff. So you'll be able to adapt it to virtually any gasoline-powered four-stroke internal combustion engine.
Well, this thing is super awesome, Mike. And like I said, we're really excited to see what kind of development you have in the future and what you can bring to, advance the automotive industry for us hot rodders. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. I really appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, do you have any social media plugs or anything like that? Shout your channel out, anything like that?
Sure, yeah. So ArringtonPerformance.com, DiversifiedCreations.com. Very shortly, we will launch ArringtonPerformance-Hydrogen.com, where you can keep up specifically on this. You can also go to ShopHemi.com, and all of those over Facebook, Instagram, and our websites.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said, we're really excited to see what you bring to the industry in the future. So we've made our way downstairs at the Detroit AutoRama, and the whole atmosphere changes. Downstairs is all rat rods and kind of traditional stuff, and we came across this awesome 32 Ford. And the only thing that's better than the car is the story. So I'm here with Tanner and Logan, who are the owners of the car, and they're gonna tell you a little bit about how they came into this thing and just how fantastic it really is. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, we're doing great. We're really glad to be here at AutoRama. This is the first time this car has ever been out in public, probably since the early 70s. This car is the shop class coupe. It's a 1932 Ford, 3-window, dramatically chopped, dramatically channeled, quintessential hot rod. It's flathead powered.
Our uncle built this in high school with his friends in his shop class, and after he went off to Vietnam, he rebuilt it again in the early 80s. Didn't go as well that time. It was going to be a show car, but the paint chipped off on it, and he ended up putting it in the garage, and it kind of just sat.
That's an absolutely fantastic picture.
Yeah.
How did you guys come to have it and all that and go through it?
So he built the car with his high school buddies in 1956 to 59, and he'd worked on it for quite a few years. And as my brother alluded to, after the paint came off of it, he entombed it in the back of his garage. He was so disgusted with it. It was his pride and joy. He said he left it there with the snag grinder still sitting on the roof. And when he passed away in 2015, it was willed to me and my little brother. Pitching away, trying to get it going to a running and driving status. We ended up bringing out to Brothers Custom Automotive about a year ago, and Bill Jaganow is an absolute flathead wizard. The car starts as fast as you jam the start button on it right now, and it is a mean hot rod. So,
As for how we got the car, how he willed it to us, he lived next door to our grandmother's house, which was about 20 minutes from where we were. So we ended up going to our grandma's house a lot, and we'd go and visit. And we'd play with the toy trucks and stuff in his living room. Then we'd go and look at the cars in the garage, and we try to ask him, hey, what's the deal with a cool car in there? And he never really wanted to talk about it much. He didn't want to share much. He'd always just tell us it ran good, didn't stop very well, it needed brakes. He didn't have a lot of stuff going for him. This was his pride. This was what he had for him, and that was about it. We really hope he's happy with what we did to it.
Yes, I am sure he is proud because this thing is absolutely beautiful. So do you guys have like a YouTube or an Instagram or anything like that? You guys want to shout out?
the biggest shout out here is to Brothers Custom Automotive.
Brothers Custom.
Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. They're always posting updates and builds, stuff like that. And you can see a lot of progress with this project too.